People are not happy with me, and that's okay. I don't care. You don't have to like me. You just have to do what I say. Welcome back, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between. I'm your host, Squints-A-Lot, and we're returning to Frostpunk today. Day 2. So the first day was very, very busy. There are a couple of things I wanted to address that I didn't really explain well in episode 1. And in case you're new to the game and you have no idea why I made the choices I made, I'd like to share my reasoning with you. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was this wood pile. Why did I put this wood pile on a 24-hour work shift, use my one emergency shift on this wood pile, as opposed to using it on this gathering post? And the reason is simply the gathering post gathers resources faster, and I was worried that if I used the 24-hour shift on the gathering post, that they would actually deplete all these piles before the start of the next workday. In that essentially would waste part of that 24-hour shift. This wood pile over here, however, has enough logs in it that the workers will work through the night until the start of the next workday in order to get them all. Once it's depleted during the next workday, we'll move them to something else. But we won't waste any of that overnight shift, because we're only using emergency shift once, and that was it. So I hope that's a little bit clearer. If it's not, or if you're confused, let me know in the comments. I'd be happy to talk to you about it. The other thing that I wanted to tell you about is actually the choice to research sawmills instead of hunter's gear or beacon. All right, scouting is hugely important. I did mention that I would be struggling for the resources to actually build the beacon, which is why I didn't choose it as my first tech. I talked to you about the food issue that we're going to be running into shortly. We've only got 50 raw food. Once we convert that to rations, it's going to be gone in a day. I mean, people be hungry. Until it's converted to rations, they won't touch it. They won't touch the raw food unless they're starving. Once they become starving, then they will eat raw food. And not only will they eat raw food, they'll eat 2 raw food. So there's a fine balancing act here where we need to wait until they're hungry to feed them, but not wait so long that they become starving, because it's super inefficient. That 50 raw food, if everybody starves, will only feed 25 people. Now, the way the conversion works is raw food, when you put it in a cookhouse and convert it to rations, 1 raw food will give you 2 rations. So that's the way you want to do things. Now, hunter's gear actually makes it so that your hunter's hut brings back more food every night, more raw food. And that's great and all, and we will want hunter's gear, but we don't have the staff to fully staff the hunter's hut anyways. If we're not using the base building to maximum efficiency, it seems kind of silly to me to add a buff to that building, which is basically what hunter's gear is. So that brings me to sawmill. Why sawmill? Well, because from my experience in this frozen wasteland, in the early game, it's wood. Wood's your bottleneck. It's gonna hurt. You're gonna need wood, more wood, more wood. You can never have enough wood until the mid game, in which case you'll be hurting for steel. But for now, we need wood. All of these top tier techs take wood. Unlocking the next tier of research, tier 1, requires 50 wood. And if you look at our wood piles, We've got 76 here, which we'll be grabbing all of that tonight. We've got 120 here, 78 here, and 68 here. We've hardly got any wood. Once this is gone, we've got no more wood until either we have sawmills online or we have scouts who will go out and pick them up in the Frostland. Again, I don't want to use all the wood that we've got to build the scouts and then also have to lose staff to send them out just yet. I want a source of wood here at home first. And so I'm researching sawmills first. Now, before I talk about much else, I'm actually going to let this click over the Book of Laws. We're almost ready for a new law. There it is. All right. So this is exciting. My favorite law in the whole game. Because apparently I'm a slave driver. Extended shift. Okay. So I didn't read the law yesterday when I assigned the emergency shift. It's sometimes we have to concentrate on the task at hand at the cost of everything else. Or die. You know, that's a little foreboding. And foreshadowing. Like I said, second time you use emergency shift. Yeah. Which is not to say you shouldn't use it. I'm just saying if you're trying to go for a no-death run, don't use it twice. All right, so the emergency shift allows you to force workers in any facility to work for the next 24 hours, which basically means you make them work overnight. Using the emergency shift will raise discontent, and discontent will rise slightly just by signing the law. So that's why people are unhappy with me. Again, don't really care. You don't have to like me. I just gotta save you, okay? I'm the savior of humanity. No, I don't have a complex. Okay, so now we're gonna sign extended shift, and this is probably my favorite law just because it's so useful. Okay, so extended shift. Building a city in this frozen hell requires sacrifice. People will get more done if they work longer shifts. Productivity. I am all about the productivity. New shift length. You can extend the workday in any facility to 14 hours. So right now the regular shift is 10 hours from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. The new shift length you can turn on is from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. Basically giving you a 40% increase in productivity, and that is huge. Working overtime causes discontent. People don't like working 14 hours a day, apparently. I can't say it's all that much fun. I've actually worked jobs where I had to work 14 hours a day, and it is pretty hellish. Okay. It causes discontent if they have to work overtime, and discontent will rise slightly simply by signing the law. And again, I don't care. Okay, so we'll be able to do another law in 18 hours. And I do want to point out real quick that we have one sick person, which isn't really that bad, all things considered. We have one sick person being treated in this medical post. Now, if you're new to Frostpunk and you've never played before, you may be tempted to take some of these engineers, the workers, out of the medical post. I would caution you not to. I know it seems like a waste. It seemed like a waste to me too. Okay, well now we've got 3 sick people, 4 sick people. Definitely don't take them out now. But even if you've only got one person in there, here's what happens, okay? There are 5 people working at the medical post. Now, they're not all on the clock at the same time. Can you see right here, we've got 3 of them either resting or going to rest, and 2 of them are working. This is how the facility is staffed 24 hours. We've got night people, we've got day people. So you always want to have at least 2 people in, but even then, if you have 2 people in, there is a possibility that they'll both be resting at the same time. And if that is the case, well, what do you think it does to the healing time for your patients? It makes it take longer for them to heal. They need a doctor's care. So I always leave my medical post fully staffed, especially this first one. Later on, when you've got more medical facilities and they're not, like, if nobody needs to be treated, by all means, pull those engineers out. But if you've got patients, you really want to have that medical post fully staffed. Now, before we get to 6 a.m., I want to get to work here. Okay, so we now have the ability to extend the work shift, and I'm going to extend the work shift on basically everything. You can see that this is affecting my discontent down here. People are not happy with me, and that's okay. I don't care. You don't have to like me. You just have to do what I say. I'm so sweet. The other big one, always like, extended shifts on the workshops. Do it, people. I need more tech. Okay. Now, your hunter's hut, they're overnight, that you can't extend the shift on those, and that's fine. They'll bring back food whenever they bring back food. Now, what I'm doing here is paying attention to where all my workers are. I've already set this one to an extended shift. I don't have any people over here. I have people over here. They're on a 24-hour shift. This coal pile, I got people over here. I'm gonna make that an extended work shift. And did I get everything? You're on an extended shift? Yeah, I do have everything because I don't have a whole lot of people on random piles. But actually, I think I'm just gonna, even though I don't have people on these piles, I'm gonna extend all the work piles to extended shift, so as I move people around, I don't have to remember to do that. Let's see here, wood crates, turn on extended shift. Now, you'll notice that when I turn these on, the discontent isn't rising. It's because nobody works there. It's only if they actually have to work an extended shift that they get upset. So if you're having problems later in the game, like you're getting high on discontent, you can actually reduce your discontent just a little bit if you've been using extended shift by turning it off. You see my discontent goes down. They're just like, oh, okay, I don't have to work long shifts anymore, then I'm fine. You're great, you're wonderful. But right now, look at all this room I got. I got room for tons of discontent. You're only mildly unhappy with me right now. And that's perfectly fine. Okay. So now everybody's on an extended shift, which means here in an hour and 15 minutes, they're gonna get to work. We're gonna get some research done. We're gonna get a sawmill online. And actually, what do I wanna do? You know what? I'm just gonna leave it like this. I was thinking about possibly putting down a gathering post over here. Actually, I probably should, because when that temperature drop comes, if we've got people working out here in very cold weather, they're gonna get very sick. But I can make that call tonight, I think, after the workday is done. I mean, these guys have been working all night in the chilly environment. They seem okay. We got five sick people last night, and they'll all be done in about a day. Now, if you leave sick people untreated, they will eventually become gravely ill. Once they become gravely ill, your medical post can't heal them. And you need either an infirmary or palliative care, so like a care house, someplace to hold them until you have the ability to heal them. Once they're gravely ill, they run the risk of dying, which is not good because you need people. You need people. Yeah, we say we've got a bunch of sick people. All right, how long for sawmill? About 9 hours, so we'll definitely get that done today. That's excellent news. For now, though, we're just gonna focus on what our people are doing. So, actually, I might have been all right putting this gathering post on an overnight shift. Better safe than sorry. So you guys are over here working. Who are we missing? Someone? Yep, someone's sick. So you see these efficiency bars. If people aren't showing up to work because they're sick or for other reasons, if they're eating or whatnot, then yeah, your efficiency is going to go down. It's a nice way to tell at a glance what the problem is. What the problem is. All right, so at this point we're just we're gonna turn off the generator right now. You notice as no one's hanging around the generator right now. They're all at work except for these kids. The kids will hang out there, but if they get sick, I don't really care. They don't do anything for me. And until you serve some sort of function in this society, you know what? You're on your own. So I turned off the generator to save myself the coal because it's not heating anyone right now. It's just wasting coal. And, we have news. People from our convoy, family torn apart. Sir, I'm a woman. Thank you very much. Sir, a woman came forward after we built the workshop. She said that her husband and daughter didn't reach the city with the main group. But she's sure they're still out there. She wants to join the first scout team we'll send out. She urges you to hurry. We'll do what we can. Everybody's in a rush to get out of this town. I mean, hey, we've got a generator here. Why you want to leave so bad? But yes, you can go on the first scout team. That's perfectly fine with me. Okay, so right now we've got so we had about 12 hours worth of coal. And this is the thing, even with these coal piles being on extended shifts, when I actually turn them on, like I said I was going to, even with the coal piles being on an extended shift, you will burn more than you gather, because the night is long. So, okay, so wood's your first construction bottleneck, but here's the thing, coal is always going to be a pain. You'll never have enough coal. Just when you start to feel comfortable with your coal inventory, there will be a temperature drop and you need to turn the generator up, and all of a sudden your coal consumption is doubled. Never assume you're doing all right with coal. That's my advice to you. Never assume you are okay on coal, because you're not. You're not. Okay. Oh, we have a sick person and we don't have a bed for them. This is not good. So, as long as your sick people are in the medical post, they will heal and be treated and everything will be fine and hunky-dory. If there is no bed available to them, there is a chance they'll become gravely ill. And like I just explained a few minutes ago, that's not a good thing. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that, including the sick person, I'm sure. So I'm gonna hit pause right there. I don't want to waste any time while I'm talking that could be used for research. Now I need to make a decision. Do I build another medical post and take 5 engineers out of this workshop and move them over to the medical post to give this guy a bed? Or do I roll the dice and hope that a bed opens up before he becomes gravely ill? I'm gonna think about that while we look at our research tree. Okay, so we can now build a sawmill. The sawmill will produce up to 60 wood per standard workday. So, 75, 80 wood with extended shifts. Now, we've got a temperature drop coming. I'm trying to decide if we can actually squeeze in beacon before getting heaters. We're gonna need heaters on day 4 because people are not gonna be happy about working in the cold, and it will put a strain on our medical post, which with that temperature drop coming up, while we will have tents for everyone by then, we may still have a run on our medical facilities. So I may actually go ahead and build a second medical post. Let's see here. If I do that, if I move 5 engineers into a second medical post, that means we'll only have 1 functioning workshop. And that workshop is functioning at a reduced capacity due to someone being sick. So it'd probably take more than the 11 hours here in order to complete the beacon research. It is about 3:30 in the afternoon right now. So there's 5.5 hours of this workday left. 5.5 hours left in this workday, which means we'd still need 5.5 hours, probably 6 hours tomorrow to finish that research. And that would leave us 8 hours in that day to research a third tech. We probably wouldn't finish it on day 3, but we would finish it very early on day 4. So I think actually that is what I'll do, is go ahead and do the beacon first. And then once that's done tomorrow, we will research heaters. That will keep our workplaces, give us heaters to use in our workplaces, anything that has a building. Now, you don't put heaters in resource piles, so we will need to build a gathering post to gather this stuff once that temperature drops. It'll be too cold, otherwise everybody will get sick. So, that being said, I'm gonna hold off on building the sawmill. Just actually, do I want to do that? Maybe, okay. So I'm looking at that temperature drop on the 4th, and it's not showing that it's going to go up on the 5th or the 6th. So I don't know if it'll go up on the 7th. I'm considering, should I build a sawmill, and then when these folks over here are all, or not over here, these folks on this wood pile, when they're done, which they're almost done, actually. You know what? I'm going to drop a gathering post over here, because we're going to want these wood crates anyways. When we drop a gathering post, the gathering post only takes 10 workers. So we'll have 5 left over. We'll have those 5. What will we have those 5 do? We will have those 5. Oh yeah, I totally could have done the 24-hour shift on this gathering post. Ah, well. Anyways, might as well get something done while it's warm outside. Chilly is warm in Frostpunk, in my opinion. So, if I drop a gathering post over here, this pile will be gone in a second, but the gathering post can pick these 2 up. I've already got a road started out there. Which, by the way, I noticed watching the first episode. I am so sorry for anyone who is as crazy as I am about being spot on perfect, because I did not line that up very well. I may futz around with that when we get to building. Okay. Road placement is finicky in this game, and I can spend hours just playing with the roads, because like I said in the last episode, roads are amazing. Just ask anyone in Frostpunk. Okay. But we will go ahead and run this road out here. That's 7. There are 15 people on this pile, so actually, so they will be assigned to the roads first, because roads are awesome. So if there are 15 people and 7 of them are assigned to a road, actually, how close can we get? That's invalid placement. I'm trying to minimize the amount of wood I have to use on roads, and also minimize the amount of workers who will be assigned to that road when really what I want them to build is the gathering post. Okay, so if I put this here, I can get both of the remaining piles, and takes 8 wood. All right, so I'm just rebuilding that road. You'll notice the road here is flashing yellow. That means it's disconnected from the grid. And that's fine because all that's on that road right now is the hunter's hut, and we don't need them to have access to it until, what? 6 p.m. So yeah, they'll be done in no time. All right, so almost done with this wood crate. And you'll see we didn't use the whole 24-hour shift, but because it's the work day, these guys will just go and build stuff now. All right, so because I'm rebuilding that whole section, they're all assigned to roads. Wait, oh, no, they're not. Yay, okay, excellent. We've got 10 people on the gathering post. Now, the 5 that we won't need in the gathering post, where will we put them? Where will we put them? We may just... Okay, we've got a coal pile over here. I wonder if we should build another gathering post between these 2 piles. That's a possibility. How much coal is left in this pile? 178, so not much. How fast will these... Oof. Yeah, it doesn't really do much anything. The steel, for whatever reason, maybe it's because it's heavy, takes longer to accumulate. But we need something to do, like 10 of those workers will be employed in this gathering post when it's done. But I do need to, you know what, maybe we'll throw those 5 extra workers in the hunter's hut. We'll get some extra food. Because food, like I said, will be an issue fairly quickly. And if we can stockpile some raw food before we eat all of our available food, that would be wonderful. Okay, so it is 6 p.m. Everybody is on an extended shift. So I'm gonna wait until 8 p.m. to turn the generator on. Because, again, really no one's hanging out. Except for the engineers who are not working right now in the medical post. Maybe I should turn it on. I don't want my engineers getting sick. That would, especially my engineers who are supposed to be healing other people, that would be bad. All right, so we've completed our first set of goals, which was to stockpile some coal and turn on the generators. Now the game is telling me, hey, food's gonna be an issue. I hadn't thought about that. It's a good thing I have the game to tell me. The generator hums with reassuring warmth, but we shouldn't take it for granted. If the generator goes down, the city dies. Boom, boom, boom! Be mindful of coal reserves. Like I said, never assume that you're okay on coal. You're not. Now, food. There'll be no city if we starve to death. secure a way to provide raw food, and build a cookhouse to prepare meals. So we've got the hunter's hut built, so we're halfway to that goal. Tonight we will be building a mess house, which will convert this raw food. And let's see here. What all do we need to do tonight? Now, nobody is working overnight tonight. So this 113 wood that we have right now and 31 steel, that's gotta last. That's gotta last until morning. So we need to be mindful of what all we build. So I would like to get all the tents down, but we do have another day to get all the tents down. So if we can't get all 8 tents that we promised down tonight, it's all right as long as we have enough wood to finish the 8 tents tomorrow night. Actually, no. We have 22 hours and 54 minutes. Am I really gonna want to take people off work to build these stupid tents? Sometimes you just shouldn't be nice. I probably shouldn't have promised this to them. It's gonna take 80 wood, which leaves me with 33 wood. Nobody's hungry yet. So we could build the 8 tents and a second medical post. Ooh, but I also wanted to... Do I want to roll the dice on that medical post? Maybe... How much for the gathering post? The gathering post is 15 wood. So we could... I never put those 10 workers in there. Okay, so because of that temperature drop, I'd like a gathering post. 148. How much do the coal piles start with? 500. So if it started with 500, that means we have gathered 352 in 2 days. Which means this coal pile will be depleted tomorrow. So I'm wondering if we build a gathering post, we can. Okay. I'm wondering if the gathering post would hit 2 of these, and it can. We can put one right here in the middle between these 2. And what it basically means is we'll have 2 gathering posts gathering this wood pile, but we'll also have them over here working on the steel wreckage. I think it's actually hitting both. Is it hitting both? Or is it just green from the other? Ooh, it might just be green from the other gathering post. Ooh. Do I want to use the resources for just that steel? A gathering post for just that steel. Let's see. I'm gonna need that steel, that's for sure. Okay, let's put the tents down. I know I need the tents. So we'll put a tent here, a tent here. All right, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so that does leave us 1 spot on this inner ring of the generator, within the generator's ring to heat range, to put another medical post if we need it. I will be building out districts to allow for more housing when we get more people, but that will have to wait until we have some steam hubs to extend the heat area on our map, because nobody wants to live out there in the cold. Okay, so I've decided to wait 1 more day on the mess hall because nobody's hungry yet. Once they get hungry, we've still got like another day-ish before they become starving and start eating our raw food, which is a bad idea. So we'll hold off on the mess hall until tomorrow night. And we'll throw down a gathering post, which may or may not hit both of those. I don't know if it hits both of them or not. Oh, wait, though. Here's... see? This is where you gotta be really mindful of your resources. If that coal pile is depleted tomorrow, that means we need to put some people on another source of coal, or we're going to run out at a really bad time. You know, like when it's really, really cold. So perhaps we would be better off throwing a gathering post over here to pick up these 2 coal piles. We're still gathering. Okay, so this gathering post will give us a source of steel. Like I said, our first bottleneck is wood, not steel. We will need steel before too long, but I'm not worried about having a huge amount of it coming in just yet. So I would say let's build a road out here. And it is after 8 p.m. now, so I'm perfectly fine building roads. I don't care who's assigned to the roads because nobody's missing work to do it. So, gathering post here, I think. How are we doing on this gathering post? We're almost out of steel here. We've got 98 wood. We're down to 6 wood left in our inventory, so that's pretty much all we're gonna build tonight. Oh, and... oh. Bad things. Bad things, bad things, bad things. Okay. But first, let's have a look at our laws and think about this for a second. We have a lot of options, and this is where I always kind of like jet off in separate directions with my laws. It depends on what problem I'm anticipating next. And that little groan when I opened up the Book of Laws is because I saw this. We've got 1 hungry person, which means before long, they'll all be hungry. And it's 8 p.m. And I'm hoping, wondering, can we go a whole another 20? Ooh, no, not 24 hours. Ooh, 34 hours without feeding them. Like if we wait to build the mess hall until tomorrow night, nobody's gonna be in there working until the following day. So they'd actually have to go 34 hours without food and not starving. So we really need a mess hall tonight so that they can cook something tomorrow. Costs 20 wood. Oh. 20 wood. Can I scrounge together another 13 wood? Because I'd really... Now I need to have 1 road segment here because apparently we're not connected to the road for some reason. I don't remember this being that difficult before, but we'll do that. Okay, so that should be connected to the road now. So I need to squeeze out 13 wood from somewhere. We could... we could stop the construction on 2 of these tents. Build the cookhouse here. Now, the cookhouse requires a temperature of chilly or better in order to function. So we actually need to build it tonight anyways, because come that temperature drop, this is outside of our heat zone. So it's going to be too cold to operate during that cold snap, and we're a ways off from steam hubs. I'm trying to remember. I think the heaters initially only raise a temperature in a workplace by 1, and if the temperature drops by 2, let's go ahead and build that there. We have 7 wood left, and I'm just gonna have to remember in the next episode to release a few workers early to build those last 2 tents once we've got some more wood. Too close for comfort. Now then, we're going to start seeing these homeless people off the street. Why is this red? Why? There is a road. There is a road there. You don't have to like it, but there is a road. I don't remember having this big of an issue previously. I don't know if I'm just bad at building roads when I'm talking. Apparently, that's exactly what it is. I don't know what's happening to me. Why? Why must I insist upon perfection? Is this connected if I do that? Yeah, now we've got 3 hungry people. And somebody wants to talk to me about something, but for now, people are warm. What do you want? That's not, I'm trying to click on this. A word of advice, workers needed. There's so much to do and not enough hands to do it. A quick way of addressing this problem is to put our children to work. I'm not gonna do that, but that does remind me that I've totally been wasting time because I didn't sign a law. The min-maxer in me is kicking myself right now, because if you are Johnny on the spot and pause immediately every time a new law is available, you can squeeze in 1 extra law before a big story point that I'm not going to spoil for you just now, but that would be helpful. Anyway, okay. I don't want to do child labor. As I told you in the last episode, I consider it to be a very short-sighted law. So what do I want to do now? I often go soup here. We can cook soup instead of full meals to feed more people with the same amount of raw food. Hope will fall, discontent will rise slightly, and people don't like eating soup. But it does give you a lot more food. They just don't like it. But it is a good way to stave off food shortages in the early game. Later on, I turn it off and go back to regular meals and, reduce discontent by doing so. But I don't know that we'll need to. We started really fast on food. Probably even faster than I normally do. I don't think I normally gather food the first night. Do I want to... I don't know that I want to do radical treatment either. Maybe, I think what we'll do is corpse disposal. And I know this seems really macabre, but it's not that I don't have a heart. I'd love to give all these people a cemetery and let them have beautiful ceremonial funerals and all that stuff. But if you go corpse disposal, it opens up organ transplants, which is a beautiful, beautiful perk that makes people heal faster. And people get sick in this game all the time. So I need to keep in mind the needs of my living people, not my dead people. And we're not gonna have dead people anyways in this run if I can help it. So what's it matter if there's a cemetery or a corpse disposal? All right, snow pit. So corpse disposal will keep dead bodies out of the heat zone and cover them with snow. The cold will halt their decay. New building available, snow pit. No risk of disease from unburied bodies. Bodies are preserved for potential future use. Like organ transplants, which, just FYI, in case you're looking at me like I'm completely nuts, no, you don't have to have any dead bodies in your snow pit in order to do organ transplants. I have no idea how that works, but that's how it works. And so I make use of it. Again, min-maxer. Okay, so you'll have to dig a snow pit. That's fine, it actually requires no resources, so perfect. Hope will fall, and discontent will rise. Well, they're never happy about anything. That's all I gotta say. Okay, so, oof. I do need to start looking at it though. We're getting close. Okay, are you guys about done being treated in here? 4 hours until the first one comes out of there. Okay, where do I want to stick the snow pit? We're gonna have to move it later. I know we are, because all of this will be in a heat zone later. But for now, we'll just smoosh it back here someplace where I don't have to build another road because we're low on resources. Low on wood. Did I mention wood is a bottleneck? Early game bottleneck. Are we so numb that we're just fine leaving the dead in a heap? Bodies dumped in the snow like rubbish. What have we come to? Look. Extreme times require extreme measures. And nobody's dead. Gosh, ooh, they're really unhappy. They're really unhappy with me. I don't care. Hey, I'm building you houses. I'm slow, well, tents. I suppose there is a slight difference there between tents and houses, but you didn't specify what kind of shelter. And besides, we apparently have to research houses, how to build them. Because despite the fact that we have somehow transversed the Frostland coming from London, nobody in our group remembers how to build a house. Don't ask for logic. This is a video game. There is no logic. Anyways, this has been day 2 of Frostpunk. We're now just a little after midnight. We've got... Let's look at the score so far. We've got 50 homeless people, but we're building tents. By the time they're done with these 3, we'll only have 20 homeless people. We're almost to that goal of providing shelter for everyone. That'll give us a little hope bonus that will be helpful. We have 10 hungry people. But nobody's starving yet. We are building a cookhouse over here. So tomorrow during the workday, which I'm actually, while I'm looking at it, going to change to an extended shift, they will be converting, I'll have to remember to actually employ someone there when we come back tomorrow. But they will be cooking up those raw rations we have. We'll have a little bit more than 58 because we're gonna have our hunters bring back some in the morning. So we'll have some food ration cooked up tomorrow. People can eat. We've got one sick person awaiting treatment. This could be dangerous. Hopefully we don't get any more than 4 more tonight because, yeah, our beds are pretty full. Now, they will empty out in the next 5 hours, so this guy will get treated, and anyone else who rolls as sick overnight hopefully will be treated. If we have more than 4 new sick people, though, we may, again, have to look at a second medical post. I just hate spending the wood on it. And really, I want the research speed. I want the research speed. Ooh, and we're gonna be finishing the beacon tech tomorrow, so we're actually going to need to build the beacon, so we're gonna need wood for that. We need more wood. Did I mention wood is a bottleneck? I need more wood. We should probably build a sawmill. But anywho, that's where we're at right now. It's day 2. I'm already stressed out. People might die. If you have any help, please send help. Please send help. And thank you very much for joining me today for episode 2 of Let's Play Frostpunk. I welcome your feedback, any suggestions, tips, tricks, questions. Comment down below, tweet at me, get in touch. Let me know what you think. And thank you very much for joining me on this, the second day of Frostpunk. See you in the next episode.